What's going on, you guys? This is Trent here at Rexburg Motorsports, here to do another machine walk around with you. Alright, so this week, as with last week, where we're going into the long-term ownership reviews, I've got Ross here to talk about his 2019 YZ250X, the two-stroke. So this is going to be awesome. Let's listen to see what Ross has to say about living with this bike. On the hour meter on this guy, he's got just over 63 hours. So he's got a lot of seat time on this. Another little thing about Ross is his last bike was a 2016 YZ250X.
So right now, hour meter, and I put this on brand new, so I'm at 63.7 on this bike. I've got probably, I haven't put as many hours on this one as I did my first one, but I've got probably 250 hours on a 250X. Most of my riding I do is just tight, single track, enduro type riding. However, I've had this bike about everywhere. Reason I went with the 250X is just a great all-around, not much to break, super reliable, had really no issues on this in the last 60 hours. We'll start with performance. I went with an RK Tech head, wanted to try this. This one's set up for 6,000 to 8,000 feet, 91 octane, single track type riding. Really opens up the power, gives it a little bit more low end grunt. And also on this bike versus a stock one, I put a full FMF exhaust, factory FMF fatty header with the shorty. Again, just helps broaden that power that we've got on this. This compared to a stock one, the type of riding I was doing in first or second gear, I'm able to do in second and third gear. Just really gave it a lot more grunt. Up the head, ups the compression in the motor. Still pump gas, runs great. I've had this down to Mesquite and also up around 10,000 feet here in central Idaho. Most of my riding, though, again, is done at between that 6,000 to 8,000 feet. The jetting's been pretty spot on. Just some more protection and other things I've done on this. Done works connection radiator braces. Those are a must on an enduro style bike. Did the arc Menlon levers. I'm not a bark buster guy or a handguard guy. Had a couple bad experiences, but these have been great. I love the pull on them, the way they feel, and they're as durable as they come. Also come with that warranty on them. Acerbis X-frame guards also really give you a little bit more traction as you're squeezing your frame with your boots, and also just eliminate boot wear on your frame. Some other protection pieces for the bike. I've got the Polysport swing arm guards, as well as the case covers, both on both sides. And I'm not much for white on bikes, so I've swapped it all out with and you can see this bike's been ridden. She's gone over backwards a couple times, but that's part of the nature of it. But I've done the Cycra kit. Their blue matches up pretty well with the Yamaha blue. Also, for one thing, as far as ride goes, right out of the box, I've learned that tires and suspension are a big deal. These tires I've had on since I built the bike. I've got the Shinko 525 on the rear and a 120, and I've got the Shinko 546 and a 90 on the front. Fattens up the front tire a little bit. I've been really impressed with the traction you're able to get with the Shinko setup, and this has been a great all-around tire. Like I said, I've had it everywhere, most primarily single track riding, but it has spent some time on slick rock and in the sand. It's performed great. Also, some other protection. I've did the Polysport disc guard on the front, just to, again, keep this bike protected. We like to ride in the nasty and just really keep these components protected so I don't have any issues. I had to adjust the fork settings just a little bit. For my weight, around that 200, 220 pounds, the forks are okay for the YZ. We adjust the clicker settings. And then I got a Race Tech suspension rear shock to I mean, me being a bigger guy, just to have the ride be handle a lot better. Just the durability of the bike, I really haven't had hardly any issues. Again, I really take pride in protecting this stuff. We do ride hard. I've had to replace some plastics. I'm actually still on the stock sprockets and chain. Again, most of my riding I do is a tight single track, so not a lot of wrapped out where you do get a lot of wear and tear, but it is mainly cosmetic. Some pipe dingers and things like that. Again, it is subjective to the rider, and obviously I've tore some grips off, but as far as the bike goes, I've had literally zero issues. Just had to make sure I maintain my air filter in dusty Idaho conditions, and also just changing the oil, but really haven't had any issues where I've broken anything on the bike. I mean, there's a lot of rave on the two-strokes right now, and I've kind of stuck with the Yamaha just because of its unbreakable nature. I mean, yeah, in a lot of instances, it's a bike that's been unchanged over the last 15 years. However, with this X model, really worked well for me in the woods. What I really enjoy about it, and in riding with other people that have jumped on my bike, the YZ delivers a grin factor that you just don't get with many other bikes. It's just always makes you smile when you twist that throttle. Really responsive. Tell a lot of people that I ride with, she's kind of a wild horse. And so that's what makes it fun for me. I mean, you've definitely got to be on your toes, but it's really nimble, lightweight, and just a solid machine. This motor really pulls hard. Things that, I mean, this bike is literally unchanged besides a gearbox from the YZ250, maybe clicker settings, and very small changes since '05. I mean, they got a brake upgrade on the X model back in 2017, just very, very minuscule things. But one thing that obviously, elephant in the room, needs the easy button electric start, would be great. Maybe a little bit larger gas tank. Again, this is the MX gas tank. You just don't have the fuel capacity to do those long all-day rides. Really not that many complaints. I really like the gearbox. Some may claim that it could use a 6-speed or something that's more tuned towards enduro style or more enduro style bike. But I feel like you'd take away a little bit from the YZ250X. I mean, this is not an enduro bike. It's more of a cross-country style, and it is meant to be, it may not be the best, it may not compete with the 300s in some regards. However, for the type of riding I do, this bike's been to the track, performs well on the track. This bike has been on the sand, it's spent a lot of time in the mountains. And to find a bike that does everything well enough for an amateur rider like myself, I think it's the perfect ticket.
Thanks, Ross. Man, that's a lot of good information, and we really look forward to seeing what you guys think about these 250X models in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching these videos that we've got here on our YouTube channel here for Rexburg Motorsports. And if you would, consider hitting that subscribe button. We'd love to keep you up to date with all things that we've got coming out for here at Rexburg Motorsports.